Hi, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'll be talking on different topics, and I'll be talking about African marriages. So I've come to realize that a lot of our mothers or grandmothers or great grandmothers, a lot of them never really enjoyed their marriage. They endured their marriage. ENDURE, they endured their marriage. They never really enjoyed it. And to my best of knowledge, marriage is something that's supposed to be enjoyed, not endured. Fine, here and there'll be issues, there'll be quarrels between both partners, but regardless of that, marriage is not supposed to be endured. It's supposed to be enjoyed. Those two words sound alike, but they mean different meaning. But this new generation have come to realize that no, what my parents took, or especially what my mother took or my father took, yes, there's some men too that actually experience very toxic marriage in Africa. But the toxicity in marriage is more from the women's side than from the men's side. Like the women experienced it more because African marriages actually favors men more than the women. And the new generation have come to realize that no, I can't take this nonsense or this shit my mother took. I don't want to enjoy and I don't want to endure my marriage. I want to enjoy my marriage. And that's why the rate of divorce is really very high. Like you see someone that's married for just 1 year, 2 years, and they're already like out of the marriage because they're not ready to take shit and they're not ready to take nonsense. So, and African mothers, especially our grandmothers or great grandmothers, those in their 80s, 90s, 80s, 60s, our girl from like let me give it an age bracket from like let me say from let me say from 40, 50, 60 and above. They really didn't prepare the men for marriage. They only prepared the women for marriage, which is not meant to be. You're supposed to prepare both gender, both the male and both the female, not just the female gender. Now the mothers or our parents, they prepare just the female for marriage, telling her that like if they do anything wrong, they'll be like, oh, this thing you did, is this what you're going to do when you get to your husband's house? Is this what you're going to do when you get to your husband's house? But when the same thing that the girl child did, the boy child now does the same thing, they'll be like, oh, he's a boy, he's a man. That they don't correct him, they just overlook it and they just ignore it, which is not meant to be. You're supposed to start training, as you're training the girl child to be a good and respectful lady in or mother or woman in a marriage. In the same way, you should also train your boy child to be a lovable and respectable person in his marriage when he gets married. So that's just my 2 cents about African marriages. And I just feel new generation mothers like us, Gen Z mothers like us, we need to prepare our male child for marriage. Not just the female child, we should also prepare the male child. And that's why if I've noticed that because Africa country as a whole, or not as a whole, majority of the African countries, the marriage in the marriage system is what word do I use? The marriage system favors the women more than the men. But when in the Europe, like in the Western world, Europe countries, the marriage system favors the women more than the men. And let me chip in a little bit about the Europe countries when it comes to their marriage and all that. Europe women or Europe men, they don't endure anything in the marriage. Once they are done, they're done. And there's nothing like they're done and they're going back to their ex and all that. In Africa, they're done and 2 or 3 years after, they're going back to their ex. But in Europe or in the Western countries, no, they are done, they move on. If they even fall out of love, not because they hate the woman or they hate the man, but they just fall out of love from the marriage, they walk out and they move on. That's why the divorce rate is very high in the Western world, because they are not ready to endure any shit in the marriage. They just want to be happy, let things go smoothly. And when they see that there's a lot of issues and misunderstanding, they walk out. There's nothing like patching. They don't patch marriage in the Western world. That's why you can see a man or a woman in the Western world has married 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. But in Nigeria or other African countries, they will stay in that marriage and endure to a point that some their life may go towards the fact that they were enduring the marriage, and some they will just be miserable in the marriage. So my conclusion is that African parents that have boy or male children, prepare your male child and let them understand the value of marriage. Let them understand the fact that marriage is not just for the women alone, it's for both the man and the woman. And our parents, our new generation parents, we should not make the mistake that our mothers or grandmothers or great grandmothers made, just preparing the girl child for marriage and not preparing the male child for marriage. Honestly, I love the Western culture system of marriage. I love it. Once they're out of love or they're tired of bullshit or anything, they are done. They are done. They walk out. They don't look back. They walk out. That's why you see an elderly woman of 60 years old having a boyfriend in the Western world. But in African country, let me use Nigeria as to be precise. You can't say a 60-year-old woman having a boyfriend. No. If she tries to even do that, they'll start name shaming her, start calling her different sort of name and all that. So that's just my 2 cents. If you have any contrary opinion to what I've just said, you can leave your comments below. Thank you. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.